is golden. Like, seriously, if you haven't had a chance to listen to Meg Wazinski's call, go to it and listen to it. She just gives tons and tons of ideas. And I feel like there's great things for this month that we can implement, but also for upcoming months. Anyhow, okay, so I am so totally excited about tonight. Okay, so we have Carrie Letourneau who's going to be sharing with us. And if any of you don't know who Carrie is, obviously she is a diamond coach with Team Something Beautiful, and she's got her own team now. And she's just totally thriving in this business. And she's got many, many, many strong points, but one of her strongest points obviously is her posting. Her posts, like, she's just so vulnerable and real. That's one thing that I totally love about you, Carrie, is that you share you and there's no sugarcoating it. And I think that people can totally relate with that. And I often tell Carrie, like, your posts are like eye candy to me. Like, I just, like, they're scroll stoppers. Every time I see her post, I'm like, that's beautiful. Oh, and that one's beautiful. And that one's beautiful, you know? So I love looking at her stuff because she just knows how to make them beautiful. So I'm really looking forward to hearing what she has to share regarding this topic. So you know what, Carrie, I'm just going to let you go because I know you got lots of content. And if there's anything else that I need to tell people, I will just put it on the team page. Okay, so you go ahead.
All right, sounds good. So just to kind of give you guys some background, can everybody hear me? Yeah, thumbs up, we're good? Okay, I have been involved in, just make sure you guys have muted yourselves so that I'm not hearing kind of a thousand other things.
So fucking loud.
So I have somebody coming in here, but let's just see if we can. Everyone's giggling and having a Okay, we're going to carry on. All right, so just to give you a little bit of background about myself, and one of my passions has been photography since I was wee. So I was able to kind of grow up with a camera in my face. My dad and my dad has always taken pictures of me. He has always had a camera in my face. So I have grown to love photography and really understand how and what goes behind a good picture. And it has become a hobby of mine as well as something that I do on the side. I have a bit of a photography business as well as this that kind of just feeds my passion for taking pictures of people, from wee teeny babies to all sorts of other kind of goodies. So I feel like what I want to share with you tonight is just how this takes time to kind of figure out what you love and when it comes to an image. I have some tricks, I have some hints, some tips, things that I've learned through being a teacher and being a tech coach as well. In my role with Edmonton Catholic Schools, my role has been to teach teachers how to put on a good presentation. There is a lot of garbage out there when it comes to visuals, and I'm going to show you a couple garbage visuals that I literally just Googled, and all the garbage showed up. And I just want to show you some examples of things that what we shouldn't do and some things that we really should do so that we can keep things powerful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to screen share with you. I have Luke sitting in his little bouncy chair right down here, and he's just being, so hopefully he just stays that way. But I'm going to screen share with you just so that you can see what I'm going to be kind of creating with you. I'm going to give some information and then also actually physically create something in front of you twice. We'll do it as a group, we'll kind of share it together and kind of create together so that you can kind of see how this works, all right? So you're going to see my screen, hopefully, if this all goes smoothly. And feel free to pop in with questions if you have them as I'm speaking, okay? I want to show you this. Let's see how this is going to work. Okay, can you all see my screen? Thumbs up? Sweet. All right, so insert Canva. Have we used Canva before? Kind of give me a thumbs up or a yes if you've used Canva, give a visual of that. Perfect. Okay, so what I want to teach you tonight is just how to create some power posts. And obviously there's some things to consider. All right, how to take a good picture, the use of fonts, Okay, now that can be we could talk about fonts for days because there are so many great ones out there, and there's some that are really just hard to read. But the use of fonts, even in just my title, can you see how I've used 2 different fonts and emphasized a word? Okay, I've used that fancy font to really emphasize a word there. And it looks good, right? Like it's appealing to the eye when you combined 2 fonts. Now, not 17 fonts, but 2. Even if I come over here to text in Canva, over here on the left-hand side, they have a whole bunch of suggestions. Now, if you look, most of them, all of them, are combining fonts. They're putting together 2 fonts that are going to kind of grab your eye. Now, these are lovely. If you're not sure where to start with a template is never a bad thing. But don't feel like you have to do that. If you feel and want to have some creativity, feel free to stray from that or use it as a backbone. Like this tealy blob on the front cover here. This is one of the templates. I literally just grabbed it and plopped it in here, okay? Also wording, the wording of your posts. We'll talk a bit about that, and the timing of your posts. So like, what should I be writing? And when is the best time to be posting, okay? All right, so first up, here are my most used photo apps. Screenshotted it right out of my phone for you to see. And I want to kind of speak just a little bit about them. Okay, Pick, Play, Post. I think most of us use that as a great combo between a still image and a video post. And it does create it to be a little video chunk, which is lovely. If you aren't showing you physically doing your workouts, there is so much power in that. So use your phone, use your iPad, however you're going to catch yourself in action. Use that and use that content to really visually show, if you're not willing to go live, which most people aren't when they're working out. Just, take some video footage and put that together in Pick, Play, Post and share a little chunk. It doesn't have to have sound. It doesn't even have to have a song to it, because I feel like there's a lot of walls that go up when you start adding music to things because you don't have the sharing rights to a lot of songs because they belong to artists. So that should make sense. Word swag. I use this a lot. Word swag is one of my favorites because it does the font comboing for you, and you can kind of just like roll a dice and keep going until you find one that you really like. And the other thing I really like that app does is I can take one of my images and I can just darken the image just a little bit, where I can still see the image, but it's just a little bit darker. And then the words I put on stick out. Does that make sense? You want to have your background image it becomes a part of the dance, if you will, between image and wording, where the background image is going to be important, but the words in the front need to be what's visible. You really want that to stick out, depending on what you're doing, okay? Kim and Jamie Fitzpatrick, they're one of our top coaches here in the business here right now, and Jamie just was on there for top 7. I think he's number 7 in the business right now. We met him here in October, at the end of October, for our big Western conference. And if you notice or follow them on social media, a lot of their pictures have a certain style to them. If you look at them on Instagram, every third post is a white background with black writing. Like literally, go look them up on Instagram, and they have like a recipe to their posting where it's like action shot, food shot, white background, black words. And whatever those words have obviously been somewhat either timed or they're winging it. But the timing of their posts, they have a recipe for their posts. So when you look at their feed, there's like a constant white strip of really just powerful words surrounded by real life. But they use Snapseed. And the filters in Snapseed for their post, which is what I was like, I had to that was the first thing I asked them, like, what app do you use for your posts? Because I want to know how you're making your pictures. Okay. Photofy is the other one I use a lot. Between WordSwag and Photofy, these are the two that most recently that I'm jumping from back and forth. I enjoy Photofy because I I have more control over the fonts I use. So I can type in a word in one font like and then I can do most used in my fancy playlist font, and then photo apps. Now I cheated on this one because if I showed you, take a look here, friends. This is actually one chunk of words with a big space in between, and I've put most used in between that, okay? So instead of going one word, these words, and another chunk of words, I've put it all together. Now the cool thing in Canva is I could actually select these and see up here where it says group, you can actually group these words together, so now they become one happy family, okay? So whenever you're creating something and you can group it together, then if you mess things up or move things around, then you're not actually losing how you wanted it to be, okay? Canva, that's obvious. Rona Magic, Rona Collage. Okay, these are they're obviously connected. How best can I describe them? Rona was my like home base last year. This was my first love as far as like app creation or like image creation. And we got along famously. There's lots of really great like add-ons. For instance, if we were to type in, let's put in speech bubble on the side here, all sorts of this kind of stuff pops up in Rona as well. The thing is that you have to pay for those packages, and some of them come with it, but there's some that are bought. Now, I really like the paint swash, like where it would just be like a brush paint went across, because if my image didn't have a really obvious spot for words to go, which I'm going to talk to you about next, if it didn't have an obvious spot for words to go, I could put a white paint wash across like a corner edge, or like bring it in from the side, and then my words would still stick out, and I'd put the words on top of the white. Again, white background, black words. Very like grabby as far as an image goes, okay? Rona Collage, what you can do is there's actual like templates where you can have like an image in the background and have like another image in a little circle, or like, you know, kind of piece it together, but where your background image is speaking a little bit more. I just suggest playing with these, because I know which ones I love because I know what they do now. But if you don't know what they do, or if you're curious about them, or you're like, I'm really good in this one so far, or I know how to kind of manipulate this app, stick with what you know. But I'm just going to kind of challenge you or broaden your understanding of things that you could be doing with your images and wording, okay? So here's some of my pictures. They're not really exciting. They're just pictures. But please note how I took the picture of these cookies. Do you see where the words could go? Okay. You see on the bottom right-hand corner how I could have taken the picture of the cookies from the top down. That would have also worked, because then I could have used word swag and darkened it a little bit so that my words could go over top. All right. I could have done that. You okay, Luke? Oh yeah. Okay, good one, buddy. You okay? Yeah. Okay, smile. So I could have done that, but I didn't. I wanted to have a kind of a perspective shot where you can take a closer look at them. Again, with the Greek salad, that was a straight on top down shot, because it's actually a really deep bowl that I have. My mother-in-law bought it for Christmas for me, but it shows food perfectly because it's white on the inside, right? My my kombucha shot, you see where I could put words. I never posted that picture. I never did anything with it, but I could have said, you know, nap time, mom's having a sparkly, you know, and this could have been, I could have put my words up in this corner. Okay. These two shots. Now I'm going to show you something with this one in a minute, but I never did something with this one either. But you can see I'm not physically taking this picture. I'm using something that all of our cameras on our phones has, and it's the self timer. Flip your camera, face it towards you, like use the front of your, like the speaking part of your phone, flip your camera so it's not the back, so you can see what the image looks like and kind of stage it. Now, often there'll be 3 or 4 shots before I'm like, okay, yeah, that's a good one. Okay, and I will honestly pause my workout where I'm like, this would make a good picture. Pause my workout, hold the pose, or like stage the kick or whatever, because action shots are great, but if you're trying to show something that is kind of an action mode. If you're doing it while moving, you're going to look like it's going to just like, it won't be in focus, which sometimes is really good. Sometimes you want things to be out of focus because it adds a little spice to your picture. But most of the time you do want a clear, crisp shot. Okay. This Mom Strong picture, I wasn't actually in love with it, to be honest with you, when I took it, and I was like, I don't know if this is going to work. So I'm like, okay, well, let's see what it's going to do. So what I did is I jumped into WordSwag, and I'm going to show you that in a minute. Okay, how I ended up using that picture. Is this kind of making sense so far? Just about the space in which you're going to put the picture. So when we talk about the thirds, if you look at your computer screen or your phone or whatever you're looking at. Now imagine that we chunked it and cut it so that there was 3 chunks to the picture, like literally cut it in thirds. Whenever you're taking a picture where the 2 lines would be to cut up your 3 pieces of your image, whether it's a portrait or a landscape shot, you want to put the person or the item or the thing kind of over to the right or over to the left a little bit. For whatever reason, I'm sure there's science and reason behind it. If you Googled it, we could learn things. But there is a reason why our eyes like it. There's a reason why we feel like it's almost cozy to look at the picture when it's a little bit off, which is why selfies are awesome, because you have to kind of put your arm out there a little and do the back bend, and you are physically to the right or the left of the picture, depending on which arm you're using to take the shot. For instance, insert next page. I pulled over on a snowy morning. I'm literally standing in front of my car. My boys are in the car going to pick up my oldest from kindergarten. It was just beautiful outside. And actually, we've had even more beautiful days around here with the frosty, frosty trees. And I got out of my car and took this picture. This is a selfie shot, you guys. I literally stretched my arm out and taken this picture, but I did it on purpose because I saw this road and I saw the trees, and I thought, I need to put something out there about this shot, about the journey of coaching. I wanted to use it as a coaching hook. Okay, so I started with a good image. Keep the rule of thirds in mind, and just remember, kind of like, always think, where am I going to put the words in this picture? Yes, I can be in it. That's great. Or the thing I'm taking the picture of. Awesome, cool. But where am I going to put words so that this isn't just a picture of me straight on? Okay, because the pictures of you straight on doesn't tell me much other than that you're beautiful. Okay, but it doesn't tell me what you're doing. You might be sweating, but not all of us like actually sweat when we sweat. You know, others are a little bit more drenched, namely me. Thank you to my father. So, but then what words are you going to add? Now, we are not all poets. I'm not fantastic with words all the time. Every once in a while I'll come up with something good. But hit up Google, friends. Like Google self-motivation quotes, Google journey quotes, something quotes, or I'll always put in like Tuesday motivation quotes or whatever. And then just kind of scroll a little bit. You'll find something that feels good that day. And what words do you want to have stand out in that line? So with this one, coaching is the universal language of change and learning. Now, note the fonts. I really like this font. I do. But it didn't work there. It didn't look right to me. This is the one I ended up using. Do you see how it says the same thing, same background picture, but this one, for whatever reason to me, I don't know, maybe you might prefer this, but I thought I can read these words cleaner. Do you agree? Yeah? Like it's cleaner. Is it easy to read? Have you noticed something about the color of the fonts that I use? They are never purple. They are never red. They're only ever black and white. And I encourage you to do that because the whole idea of less is more. We don't need our words to be like, ah! Let your picture be exciting and use the words as like putting powdered sugar on top of it. Like you're just making it sweeter. It doesn't need to you're not highlighting it, because what you're going to post with this, the words you're going to put with this image is going to be what's going to highlight what's happening. But you just want to kind of put some sugar on top of your image. Okay. So are we good with this? Are there any questions about this? first? No? Janelle's got a question. Give her. Unmute.
Okay, sorry. Just one thing. Do you ever put shadowing on your words if it doesn't work? Like if you can't see it very well?
Yes. So the
No, but that's something that I do every once in a while.
yeah. So the post I just put up tonight, like the one that has like, which challenge group do you want me to do? I put a black shadow on the white wording. It was white wording with a black shadow to it with a like a opaque background, like where you can kind of see through it with the red in the background. So you can use color, but don't go too crazy because it almost makes it too busy. Do you know what I mean? Like you want to keep it kind of simple. All right. But like I could have, and I mean, and maybe this would be a one that I could have played with adding a black blur to the back. Now, of these apps with adding blur, Photofy is great for that. It's very easy to do to add the blur. WordSwag, you don't have that kind of control. Okay, Rona, you can. But WordSwag is like literally really good for white background, white writing, or do you know what I mean? The opposite. So if you want straight up words, really simple, really basic, WordSwag is your friend. If you want to get a little bit more fancy, Photofy is your friend. Or Rona also have a little bit more control. Snapseed, I'm still learning how that one works. It's not as intuitive to me. I feel like I need to have a bigger brain in the morning, and I don't have that at 7 o'clock in the morning. So, all right, here's this picture. I'm going to show you what happened to it. See? Original shot. Taken using the self-timer and the front camera on my phone. It's a pretty boring picture, actually, until I threw it into WordSwag. And I don't know if you've seen, I've posted a couple of them, and I'm actually supposed to be getting them tonight. I was gifted with a photo shoot from a fantastic photographer here in the Edmonton area called Hobbs Photography. And they are showcasing, or the shots that they did for me was a mother's beauty session, which was really cool and really insane with 3 boys. There's not a lot of beauty behind that. It's a little bit insane. But they are in love with black and white. Monochrome motherhood is what the hashtag is that they're using. And it's just opened my eyes as a photographer to the power of black and white and how we live in a world of color, but when you throw some black and white power in there in an image, it's kind of like hits you a little and you're like, whoa, what the heck? So I was playing with this image and I threw it into a black and white. And now there's different kinds of black and white. If you've played with black and white filters before, and they can either look really bright whites where the whites are really bright and the contrast is different, or you can get something like this where it really made my arms pop and the background super dark, which was perfect. Now, the line of my yoga mat ended up being brilliant. Now, you guys, I didn't plan this. Look, it's a shitty shot, to be honest, with a crap word, but it's like, this worked out really good, okay? And then I went and just lastly added my logo to it, which I then was able to post. I'll talk about the logo. Please remind me if I forget by the end to talk about the logos. Okay, Janelle? So yes, boring shot, not really great. Throw it into black and white. All of a sudden it's like, wow, that's actually pretty awesome. Carry on. Okay, group project number 1. We're gonna work together. So if you may need to unmute at times this is kind of like being in school. So I took this picture probably a week and a half ago, and it's kind of great. These are the eggs that I get from my neighbor. They have a chicken farm amongst goats and every other animal. I literally went there today and picked up 4 dozen eggs for $10. They're just the best. But look at these eggs. Like it's almost comical to me that they came out of the same egg carton. And these eggs, the cool thing, if you have any hookups for getting eggs, these eggs are probably a week old, like a week from chicken to container, whereas the eggs we get in the store are probably 2 months, if not more, from chicken to container. So getting fresh eggs is a bit of a treat. So can you guys help me here? I'm going to create this in front of you, and I'm going to put a little bit of my flavor on it. But what kind of words should we put on here? Did anything come to mind? Like this isn't going to go anywhere. We won't post this. We can just be silly with this. So give me some words. This is all on you. This is audience participation, and go. I'm waiting. Who's going to hit up Google? Jump on your phone. Do I need to do it? Do you have something?
I was just thinking something about like don't put all your eggs in the same basket, or I don't know. That's the only thing that came to me because I'm like thinking eggs, you know.
Okay,
So,
let's do it.
but I don't know how that would play with the whole
this is
size.
Okay, Liz, what do you got?
All I wanted to do was what the, just because they came from the same animal, doesn't mean they're gonna be the same.
Okay, let's do that. Okay, so we're gonna go what?
Because we're not publishing this.
This is not going anywhere.
Okay, good.
What? Okay, but I want to, so again, like I want to give it some flavor, right? So I want to combine some fonts. Now, it's like some of these fonts, I'm like, hey, this is a little bit crazy, you know, to use what? Like that doesn't make sense, right? But you can see where, like it doesn't really, that doesn't look right. Okay, but if we keep going here, you know, you start playing with your fonts. Oh, it's interesting how laggy this is. And we can actually get in here and play with color. And like I said, I tend to do blacks and whites. Now, because on Canva it's a little bit different, what I would end up doing is, I'm just going to scooch this over so I can see it because I have you guys there. You can copy this and then make one black. And then we can just drag it. It gets a little bit finicky because it wants to snap it. We can give it a little bit of a white background or vice versa, right? So now in this one, if you hit arrange, do you see how you can send it back and bring it forward? There we go.
Yeah.
So you can play with your fonts and add more text. So I can come back over here. Again, now I could have used one of these, which would be fine. Or I can come back over here and I can add what the, fill in the blanks, friends. Now, because I've already got a bubbly font, now I'm feeling like I want to have a really basic font for this next word. And the next, we're going to do this one more time, you guys. So this is just an example of how Canva works. If you've never used Canva, this is a really good way to go and just kind of see it. So now I'm feeling like this is almost, the background's not nice for it. Do you agree? That the words are getting lost, like we're not going to see this, okay? So what I would almost come over here and do is come over here and grab, let's see if there's a circle. Dun, 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 dun. Now, if I grab this, pop that there, arrange, back, move on back. There we go. Okay, now remember, this is going to be only the square, not what's overlapping, because we're just on a kind of a page here to play. But do you see how now we can see the words? Right, now that pops if we give a little bit of a background. And the other cool thing, can we do it on here? Transparency, we can do this. See, so if you play with the transparency of whatever you're putting behind it, now you'll notice if you go and look at the post I made tonight, which it just went up an hour and a half ago at 8 o'clock or something like that, about asking which challenge group people want. I use the transparency feature on the little circles so you could still see the image behind, but my words were getting lost. So I threw a circle in behind with some transparency. Okay, so we could continue playing with that one. Okay, but you'll kind of see what I mean. Or you use a picture like this. Now this one's of my Noah, my middle boy. This summer we went houseboating and we brought sparklers, and sparklers when it's dark by a beach is so much fun. And so this was his thing. Okay, free and end in 10 minutes. Please upgrade. Yeah, stay with me. Very good. So I got 10 minutes to ramble at you and then I'm stopping. So we could continue playing with that, but play with your images. I'm going to keep going so if we can come back to that, we will. So yes, use the timer on your camera. If you don't already do that, use the timer. It's a powerful thing to do. So obviously me flexing there, I'm not touching my camera. It does take a burst photo, which is usually about 5 images. So if you feel like you're losing memory on your phone, go back and delete some pictures because it does create a burst. So it's like taking 5 pictures in one, but you'll get a much more stable image. Okay. And the other thing, okay, so me with holding my shake, I'm standing by my kitchen window. Always put yourself with some good front light, just like I am in front of my computer right now. Okay, I'm going to wake up this computer and you'll see I'll even get brighter. No, that's really not a bright picture. I'm lying to you, actually. So, but yes, you want to put yourself in front of something bright so that you're not getting shadowy. Like it would be even better if I would have taken that flex picture the other way because the sun is coming through my windows back here, right? Okay. And this plate has kind of become part of my branding almost, I feel. And I've bought 4 of them in like a tealy blue color and then 4 of them in this white color. And if you don't have a really lovely, normal, everyday set of plates, go and get like 1 or 2 random ones. Go to Chapters. That's where these are from. They got everything beautiful at Chapters. And just get yourself some cool plates and share what you're eating also. Yes, we can share a sweaty selfie. Yes, we can share what PD we're doing. Yes, we can share the shake picture. But you have to actually show people what you're eating. Take a picture of your plate. And meal prepping videos and stuff like Liz, I know you're doing that on Instagram on your Insta stories is awesome because there's power there. It's a wonderful thing, but like these are top down pictures, literally on top of my plate by my window beside my sink. My sink is to the right of those pictures every single time because that's where the nice sun is at lunchtime or breakfast time. Okay, so here we go. I went to Google. I typed in challenge group posts. There's a lot of garbage out there. A lot of things are not working for a lot of people if this is what's happening. Which one grabs your eye? 1, 2, 3, or 4. Show me with your fingers. So you don't have to unmute. Okay, number 2, 4. Yeah, I would agree. Okay, number 1, what the heck? There is way too much happening here. I don't even know what to look at. I see fit before fall. I see lose weight, get fit. I wish I will. I don't even know what's happening. Oh, P.S. There's a coach email. I don't know. This is made using Pitcollage. I can tell you right now because we use Pitcollage at school, and a lot of people feel like they're doing great documentation for their classrooms. Pitcollage not actually working, and it's too much is happening. You see how the colored words aren't really adding to it? The background picture is too busy. Okay, this is great. This is a good one. 2 is good. 4 is also good because it's a simple image. You see the person. It's like, hey, busy mom, want to lose some weight and get some support? Come here. So kind of just be aware of how much you're putting in your image, especially for challenge group invites. You want to keep it really simple, okay? Timing and delivery. I have to kind of laugh at this phrase because my mom, this was her line. And so you know how it was like pick a word in January of what our word is? This was my mom's word, my mom's phrase 2 years ago. It's timing and delivery. Timing and delivery, people. But it's good. Now, if you were a part of Meg's Call It All today, free versus F star, R star, E star, E star, blah, blah, blah. Facebook doesn't like free apparently, and I'm going to test this theory. And if you feel like your free posts aren't getting any traction, that might be why. You might be getting lost in the newsfeed because of the times that you're posting. Yes, we may be on Facebook at 10 o'clock in the morning if you're a stay-at-home mom or home with a baby or on a coffee break. But most people, or if you're Liz and sitting at a desk and have your phone in front of you, because I know that's how she rolls. If you don't have that, most people look at Facebook at 8 o'clock in the morning, maybe over lunch, more likely around 4:30, 5 o'clock, but really at about 8 o'clock. So if you're aware of those times within wherever you are living or whatever you're doing, use those times to your advantage. And like I know Liz was talking to me about the fact that we're in Alberta and then Ontario is 2-3 hours ahead of us, depending on where you are. And that's a thing. So you want to, your 5 o'clock post here is going to hit them at 7 o'clock. And you want to kind of be aware of that, right? But let your image grab their attention, okay? And let your words speak to their heart. That's important because if you want to throw all the words on your image, you can't boost it because it won't work. They won't let anything over 20% wording on your image. And I learned that from Janelle. And then I was able to boost things really easily after I kind of caught on to how much was appropriate. And just use your write up to invite, always inviting, always inviting. Don't be salesy, be real, be you, and that's about it. Logo. I'm going to tell you really quick about the logo. I made my logo here in Canva. I cheated a little bit because I paid for the work business account in Canva, which gave me access to when you would download, it's not on this because this is a PDF. When you would download, you could get a transparent background. Because whenever you have a transparent background, let me come over here to uploads really quick and show you. Just like with like the Court of Force stuff, like here's my logo. Look, this little guy has a transparent background, but I can pull this on here, transparent background. It can go on top of anything. I literally paid, I didn't pay. I did the 30-day free or whatever, made my logo, played with it like nonstop till I liked it, downloaded all the things and canceled it. Because I was like, no, I'm good. I don't even know if I really want this one. Like I'm committing to it now, but this is not like a forever relationship. So that's how you can kind of, oh, there's Daniela. And we can kind of play with that, right? But yes, oh, see, here's, hi Luke, you're getting mad. Yeah, so there's that. Does any questions? There's literally 3 minutes left before they're gonna make me pay for things apparently. So I'm gonna grab this. See, this is the filter that you get in Snapseed, if it loads here, because that's happening.
Can I say one thing, Carrie?
Yeah.
One thing that I absolutely love about your pictures is your smile. So I just have to ask you, like, do you really have to force it? Like, how do you get a great smile? Because I'm just like, I'm so exhausted. Like, I can't get a smile out of my face sometimes. So, like, how do you, like, what do you do? Like, do you have to consciously make yourself smile or what?
Yeah, you're like, okay, people are going to see this smile. I don't know. Like, I'm smiling now. I do a lot of smiling. I don't know. You kind of just got to smile. And like I mentioned at the beginning, though, remember, I've grown up with a camera in my face my whole life. So smiling in front of a camera is not something I have any qualms about. And neither do my children, clearly. So it's just, you got to just smile. Just smile. Spread the joy, friends. Just do it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do I always feel like smiling? Is it sometimes my husband's sitting right there on the couch and I'm like, want to give him one of these and I'm just smiling anyways? Yeah, it's happening. You just kind of smile. I don't know. I always think of who's going to see it. Less than okay. I love you all.
Okay.
Comments, concerns?
Yeah.
We can do more later.
Sure. And you know what? That was really awesome. Like, thank you so much, Carrie. You put a lot of effort into like organizing this and putting your thoughts out there for us. So thank you so much. I learned a ton.
Awesome.
Okay. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.